the start of the day, it's been pretty slow stuff.
Narratively, the game ones of each series have been bangers in that way, at least, with a lot of underdogs coming out on top. This one, though, EDG handled Ultra Prime in the game one of our second series, and now we're into a game two where EDG, they're looking to keep control of the jungle. They're looking to keep that tempo up because they've already gotten some really big go buttons and giving Jiejie the Nidalee here to get the sticks versus Hacker and his Zyra.
So, the Nidalee in the jungle for Jiejie. Can it work out? Especially with a Smolder for lead. Looking late game. Looking very much to play the long con there. Whereas Ultra Prime go for the Zeri in the mid lane. They've got Doggo's Draven once more. And I'll have very fast clear. So I'm going to be honest. I'm a little bit nervous for Leave. Because, you know, Zyra clearing away as fast as possible towards that bottom side and threatening a dive with a Nautilus and a Draven against Smolder. That's a recipe for disaster for EDG.
Yeah, I think it can be, at least. See if Ultra Prime can play a little bit better around that bot lane in any case. But it is going to be a huge setup potential for QingTian on the Gnar.
Certainly will be. Line pick Gnar, very comfortable. Renekton obviously banned away, as it always seems to be, and it will be the K'Sante for Solokill. So, I mean, Prio in the top side there for Ultra Prime should be Prio bot as well. And I believe in the early stages, it's Corki that will get Prio in the mid lane here for EDG. But I'm looking towards the junglers in the early pathing if Jiejie can answer Hacker's potential threat on the bottom side.
I mean, if you can, I think that's a massive implication of the game, but it's also a situation where, like, Ultra Prime, they were a little bit caught off, it felt like, in that game number one. I do see them with a much more
series. They will be eliminated from playoff contention, and EDG would love to play spoiler and make that happen.
Love to hear all the EDG fans there in Shanghai. Obviously very plentiful, as I do believe they were like branded as Shanghai for a little bit there as well. But anyways, it is going to be a case where you have to look at the jungle pathings early. I think Jiejie is going to have a lot more eyes on him to be very active early, but Hacker looking at the top to bottom. He's breaking his neck here, all right?
Yeah. Leave going a little bit nuts. Oh, Jiejie actually manages to clear the ward away without even using a sweeper. Nicely done there. Did start his Q to go for that, which is not necessarily as good for clearing quite often. You see the W for the bushwhacks and for the leaps. But he'll be fine. Actually has a leash from Solokill. I think Solokill just realizing that against Gnar, he's never winning Prio anyway.
It's going to be very difficult in any regard. Unless they get maybe some weird pathing from Jiejie. But we'll see if this level 1 ends up panning out a little bit more for Doggo and Niket this time around. I think it was really rough to lose that early pressure down there, even though they were able to get the cash in there in the end. Looks like this level 2 going to be heavily contested for.
Yeah, looks like Doggo and Niket winning it out this time around. This is the first time we see Draven win a level 2 so far today. It's been a weird day of League of Legends where really Draven's consistently been against that Ezreal, not been able to find Prio to start the lanes off. Keeping my eyes on that top side as well. QingTian thought he had advantage. Oh, sorry, Solokill thought he had the advantage last time on the Renekton. Ended up getting solo killed by the K'Sante in the hands of QingTian. This time, QingTian on the Gnar against the K'Sante. Let's see how that top lane matchup pans out. Solokill could do a similar thing, or if QingTian plays it safe enough.
I'm wondering if, because we're watching the relay racers go down right now. They've been relay racing through the jungle. They're all coming down to this bot side. The wave state, though, is in an interesting position. There's really no vision being played out by either of these bot lanes, and we might actually just end up starting off with a scuffle over the Scuttle Crab.
So 3-minute clear for Hacker. Wolves still up for Jiejie, and with Prio bot, you should think Hacker can grab that crab for himself at very least. Cryin and Yuekai trading in the mid lane, and Yuekai is winning it out. Bit of revenge for what was happening in game number 1. Last time Yuekai fell 20 CS down by the 10-minute mark. This time around doing a bit of a better job, and Hacker doesn't get his opportunity to threaten underneath the tower on EDG's bot lane, but he does get the crab. And maybe we'll move towards the bot lane here.
Yeah, actually they do.
Chunk coming out onto Wink here. Leave just getting some DPS out onto Doggo to return it. I really don't know if there's much of a dive angle anymore. They kind of needed that third wave. But
Jiejie's top.
He's playing the opposite side. QingTian gets his hop though, dodges the skill shots, doesn't even need to flash.
Wow, great play from QingTian there in the end. And I actually wanted to highlight a little bit of the pathing from Jiejie because he ended up going for the blue Gromp first so that he could path away from the strength that Ultra Prime were representing the bot side. Ends up going to the enemy jungle over here, but Hacker looking for a play on the other side again.
Leave the target, flashed on, rooted, will be taken down. That's a cash-in for Doggo as well. A kill for Wink, but it does not matter. Smolder is denied his wave. He does have TP, but still quite a few minions missed.
There you go. We get Ultra Prime playing down towards this bot side, giving everything to try to give Doggo some resources here on the Draven. You love to see that. Now, I will say, though, Hacker loses a ton for that in terms of the top side of his jungle here. But we'll see if he can recoup a little bit of that. And we will have the objectives coming up, at least Dragon first and foremost.
Look at the CS in the bot lane. It's a 1,000 gold lead for Doggo with first blood and with a 20 CS lead to start the game off. It's a really nice beginning to the second game for Ultra Prime. Everything on the line, and Doggo knows it. Wants to take things into his own hands. The rest of the map pretty much even for the time being. With just, I mean, pretty much the only thing that's happened elsewhere on the map was the attempt on QingTian, but just hopped his way out to safety.
And these guys will have a lot of impact as time goes on in the game. Obviously, right now they're hanging out on a nice tropical island. But it will be a factor where QingTian's going to have a ton of the engage setup for the team with his Meganar. Obviously, Niket on the other side will as well. But we're looking all bodies down bot side here. Hacker has returned to the well.
We're going again. Leave doesn't have his flash. He's going to be rooted. He's going to be finished off. It's a kill for Hacker this time around, who's trying to flash away to safety, but he goes down himself. Here comes Yuekai. Re-dive would be difficult, though, as Doggo's cutting off the wave. Another set of minions on their way. Jiejie just desperately trying to clear as fast as he can. I think EDG will survive, but Leave doesn't, and Leave misses yet another couple of minion waves.
Just keep present down there, and you can keep the pressure up, keep the CS differential in favor of Doggo, and actually have something strong to play around on this Draven. Now, we do immediately see Ultra Prime moving some of their presence up towards this top side to try to get these grubs under tow. Getting that would be really big for them as a bit of a bridge builder here. I just don't think there's any way Leave could get out of that one. I do appreciate the follow through for EDG. It does come with a little bit of payback there, but they are able to get the opposite side play now as we go back to live.
I think the nice thing for EDG there is, A, Jiejie gets himself a kill. It's always good to be ahead early on the Nidalee and just kind of evening up for the fact that Hacker got the kill onto Leave. But also the fact that Yuekai actually committed to roaming down. Cryin did, right? So Cryin managing to get a wave in and find himself a minor advantage. It's nothing significant in the mid lane, but it's silver linings that you're looking for EDG at this point with how things have gone for Leave to start the game. He's on 35 stacks on this Smolder as Niket looks to try and find an engage. Doesn't quite get it.
Stop motion. They're making a movie down here. Takes a lot of scenes, all right? They got to get one at a time. You know, the stop motion with the dredge line starting off. It's definitely something that Niket's going to need to clean up. He's not on his rel anymore. He doesn't have the big, lengthy AoE engage this time around.
I thought you were going along the stop motion line with the the
yeah,
rel dance is kind of like clunky on the fairground ride.
Shout out to anybody that does stop motion, by the way. That stuff is difficult.
Based Nick Park with his Wallace and Gromit, Shaun the Sheep, and everything else.
Shaun the Sheep's
absolutely
classic.
Incredible.
Is Shaun the Sheep or Wallace and Gromit more classic?
I mean, Shaun the Sheep is a character from Wallace and Gromit.
Yes, but like, which one do you know more?
Obviously,
well,
Wallace
they're
and
going to
Gromit.
go bot lane more.
Doggo is going to cleanse, and he'll walk away. I'll just finish that conversation. Yeah, it's not even a conversation. Shaun the Sheep is...
I have no horse in this game or no sheep in this game.
Yeah.
So,
Just for people that don't know, that aren't in the UK, right? Like, Shaun the Sheep is a kids show that is a spin-off from Wallace and Gromit. Wallace and Gromit is like... There's a feature film that was out in the cinemas, you know? Like, it's... Wallace and Gromit is much, much bigger. And they're finally bringing out the sequel to The Wrong Trousers. It was announced as it's going to be...
I love that for you.
What is it? Mattermost Fowl, I think it's called.
Okay.
Feathers McGraw makes his return. He had a cameo
Birds.
in the new Chicken Run.
Oh my God, it's all
Lord.
coming together. It's all full circle. The universe is coming up clean.
You didn't realize the can of worms you opened when you brought up stop motion with me.
I really didn't know. But what's funny though, as an American, when it comes to mind about stop motion, I actually think of sheep, Shaun the Sheep first. I don't know if there's some weird thing. Like, I did watch Wallace and Gromit as well, obviously, but like, I don't know why would I think of that caricature. I always think of Shaun the Sheep first. Maybe I'm just weird too. You never know.
I mean, he's a cute little sheep. Oh no! QingTian!
He tries to get
throws
it.
him into the wall and then missed the wallop. I mean, it
He's
didn't matter, but
agile
still.
tricks. Yeah, you know. We are actually moving a lot of bodies from EDG up this top side, try to punish some of the side laning here. But they also need to stay proactive. Jiejie cannot really afford to get behind in this composition.
Oh, QingTian may have overstayed for this one. Dodges the solar flare, dodges the Zenith blade, dodges the spear. QingTian, nice footwork there. Nothing from EDG sticking.
I can't believe he just made it out of there so cleanly. I mean, the little Yordle's got moves. Love to see that from QingTian. I think he was actually a really big pickup for Ultra Prime. I don't know if he's necessarily seen some of the big rock-solid moments that we maybe know him for, but it's been really, really cool to see him strut his stuff a little bit in the games he feels confident in.
Yeah. I will say as well, Wink is sort of just completely whiffing the solar flare,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Like, basically placed it behind
Didn't expect
him.
the jumps.
Yeah. But then the question comes up, why did he expect the jump? Like, what else is Gar going to do in that situation? Come on. Yeah, bit of a whiff from Wink, but not the end of the world. It'll still be Ultra Prime now, stepping up to go for some grubs. They got the first 3 for themselves. They're looking for the next 3 as well. That's going to be 6 grubs for Ultra Prime, pretty much uncontested. Solokill on the tower. This is a dangerous part of the map for Yuekai to be in, because Solokill's under the tower right now, but look at the rest of the cavalry on their way. Solokill is just going to pull the wave so that the next minion wave arrives. Yuekai realizes he's got to get out, and Dodge tries to TP! Every bit of CC thrown and none of it lands, and it means Ultra Prime get the top tower and they pressure mid.
Oh my God, 1,000 possibilities and only one that mattered. Yuekai, he gets a massive play here, gets the first turret on the top side, stops any more gold from going on the bot side. They will lose some more plates here, but Ultra Prime with some map moves and now on mid lane.
Wing forced to flash away by the Stranglethorns. They got the top tower, and they're actually pressuring the top tier too. Ultra Prime are just buying time in the mid lane here. This is not real pressure. Solokill TP's up, but it's too late. Yuekai and QingTian share the gold on the top tier too. It's a 4,000 gold lead.
With the Zeri, you can take turrets so quickly with the passive at the Q hitting on multiple, but they also have QingTian presenting a lot of strength on Dinar. What a play from Ultra Prime. It's just the map play. It's moving around the map, and Yuekai starts it off with a slink out barely. But then this causes EDG to have so much latent pressure down in the bot side. They take full advantage, take 2 turrets in top.
I just love, like, the Q3 from Solokill, the ultimate from Wing, leave with the W and the ultimate as well. All of them just a split second too late. And
Can't say they weren't together.
Well, yeah, they definitely tried, but they ended up just giving Yuekai 2 towers worth of gold, which is, you know, not ideal for the enemy Zeri to just grab that for free, essentially. I guess not quite for free, but not that far off either. And Leaf grabbed 3 plates in the bottom side off of that, but look how far behind he is. Doggo, 1,500 gold up. There's a 1,500 gold lead for QingTian as well. There's a minor lead for Yuekai in the mid lane. That'll be a second Drake for EDG, so silver lining there, but it does feel like Ultra Prime are well and truly in control for the time being.
I do love to see that EDG are able to get that one, though, get some of that scaling going for themselves, but also buying time, right? Because that is something we talked about from the beginning is, okay, well, Hacker. Gonna get the flash bird out of him. Jiejie is the bridge builder. They still have Cryin, they still have Leave. Big team fight implication from these two guys, especially with the stacks of the Smolder.
Jiejie actually gets that. I can't believe he managed to pull that off. Gets the spear and one last auto. The Hacker can't steal the blue buff. That was a control ward committed by Niket as well to try and make that happen. Doggo's desperate to finish this tower. It's low. And with QingTian here too, that'll be all 3 tier 1s taken as Yuekai finishes the bot lane. And the top tier 2 already gone for Ultra Prime. They are muscling their way forward in towards EDG's jungle, pushing that vision line forwards.
See now, though, it is going to be a pretty calm state, at least on the bot side of the map. I do want to see if... Okay. They're going to stop the back. That was a very aggressive back, though. I was going to say maybe some readaptation towards this top side of the map for the Rift Herald plays, but right now it looks like we just want fights around bot side.
Feels that way, doesn't it? It's not no Drake up for another 3.5 minutes, so no real objective towards that bottom side, but I mean, I just want to quickly check in as well on the fact that leave 100 stacks on that Smolder for now. He's not even got the big upgrade on his Q where it starts splashing everywhere to really start stacking it up faster. Yuekai moving into the bottom side. Cryin is going to try and get cheeky with it, but he doesn't have his TP available, so there's not much of a way out unless they just don't check the bridges.
No.
He actually gets away.
Oh,
that's criminal.
My God, what a sneaky little doggy. Makes it away, and that is actually a pretty massive play because now they can just take the Rift Herald for free.
Is Yuekai just not confident to take the fight there? I feel like he must know that Cryin is in one of the brushes or in the alcove, right? Like, I don't know. Either way, Herald, now the target for EDG. They can't quite get the eye. There it is.
Oh,
Herald taken, but TP from Yuekai takes a huge chunk before he goes. He'll still survive. Either Herald denied from EDG, but Ultra Prime won't get anything either. That should be tier 1 actually, down in the bot side as well.
Yeah, there's nobody really there to respond from Ultra Prime as we see the eye go down, plucked out of existence. Good denial from side of Ultra Prime to kind of get them away from that one, but still really big pickups from EDG. We've said they bought themselves a little bit of time. They are in a pretty massive deficit right now, but we have to continue looking at those item spikes, but also the timings for Cryin and Leave specifically.
Looking at Cryin and Leave. They've oh, hang on, speaking of Leave, okay, won't have to flash or anything here. I wasn't sure how big of a commitment Ultra Prime would make to this. Whenever there's a Smolder on the screen, if you can get yourself a cheeky engage, soften the play. Doggo, he cleansed a second too early. He got stunned anyway. And in goes Wink to try and start the fight, and down goes Wink after the fight starts. QingTian misses the ultimate, but still gets the kill. Solokill buying space in the backside of the play. This is an absolute mess of a fight, and it ends 2 for 2.
And really good separation there by Hacker in that fight with the Strangles. I think it would have been a much different fight if not, but man, Ultra Prime will fight back a little bit. They extend their lead here as well. It is going to be a pretty hefty trade, though, in the end, and unfortunately, Doggo is the bearer of the bad news in terms of not being able to get any lifting afterwards, but it is also just kind of caught in transition here.
So if Doggo gets caught, he does go down. I think it might have actually just been 2 for 1. Is the W? No, that missed. It was just Ignite actually, or Bushwhack or something. The cash-in came through though, importantly. As
got a lot of gold at least.
Yeah, it was 2 for 1. It was 2 for 1 actually. It's a fight win really for Ultra Prime, especially with the cash-in coming on through. It's 2,000 gold up in the AD carry position. I misread before. And Drake coming up in 20 seconds. Ultra Prime well and truly in control of the area.
And you love to see that. We have to keep reminding people how much is on the line for Ultra Prime. They need a win in this series no matter what. It sucks that they lost that first game of the series, but they still control their fates here, at least tonight, and they need to pull it back against EDG, who have nothing left to play for, who have at times in this split been a catastrophe on the Rift and off the Rift, and now the fact that EDG have got a single game win over them and being able to kind of push them to the edge, it's turning a little bit more chaotic than we expected.
Doggo's just going to solo the Drake.
Bloodthirster, baby.
Yeah, he's got Bloodthirster, as you say. Too easy. And his Infinity Edge, not far away either, I imagine, on a recall. He'll be able to finish that one off. Big, big spike on this Draven. And it does make me nervous for EDG for this next fight. But honestly, if the pace of the game continues as it is, it's really good for EDG. They are scaling, they are slowing, or they're trying to just play as slow as possible, right, with this Smolder. Trying to get the stacks up. Cryin has just been in these side lanes trying to build a lead for himself. Hasn't been able to do so comparatively to that last game where he was MVP on this Corki. Hasn't been able to maintain the CS quite to the same level. Still a very respectable CS number, don't get me wrong. But compared to well over 10 CS per minute in the previous game, it's not quite the same.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, I would say. Wink has been getting so close with these Zenith plays. Hasn't really been able to find promise just yet. But I think the other thing is EDG, we said maybe need to be a little bit active. I think Ultra Prime, they have some scaling implications for their own right in Yuekai, especially on the 3-item spike. But right now, Jiejie is very strong, but we were really waiting for that 225 stack for Leave, where he just becomes an unkillable Dragon King.
We'll see if he even gets there. Pace the game certainly leads
I think
you
we're
to believe
getting
that you would. Yeah. 0 and 3, but ultimately, he's on a Smolder, so at the end of the day, it can just lead to nothing. Straven, last game up, couldn't really get the lead, couldn't really make anything stick from Doggo. This time around, he's found that lead for himself. The question is, can Ultra Prime leverage these leads across the map? I mean, QingTian has such an advantage in the side lane. It's so difficult for Solokill to protect his towers. I mean, luckily for him, he can just kind of tank up the waves and clear them pretty quickly, so shouldn't be too much actual threat onto the towers, but he will consistently be pushed in, and QingTian will consistently have move.
And I think we're seeing a lot better use of their resources for Ultra Prime in this second game. They're going to use those resources right now to just force a Baron, though.
Baron started. Mom called, but it does pretty much nothing. And Niket looks for an engage instead, but Niket is gone. EDG find the first kill of the fight. QingTian close to Mega Knob. Close isn't good enough. Stranglethorns to try and disengage the fight. Solokill realizes he's gone too deep for this one, but the all-out QingTian flips it. And Ultra Prime are getting taken apart. EDG with a 2-0, punishing the Baron attempt.
The all-out in the middle of the Mega Gnar. That's huge. I mean, I don't think QingTian was going to catch anybody anyways, but love to see the mechanics in the end. And EDG, they have fought back. They show that they do have some skin in the game of their own. They were down so heavily. They still are almost 4,000 gold down. But the fact they're able to fight some of these fights out and take advantage of maybe some of the split calls there from Ultra Prime.
Fantastic punish from EDG. I wasn't sure, you know, when this started off, when Leave's ult was a bit of a whiff and Niket looked for the engage, but Niket just evaporates from the damage from Cryin.
It's brutal how much damage can come in a burst from EDG. In the Stranglethorn, it does separate them, but Solokill plays that master. Look at that right there. It wasn't going to catch anybody, but I love the timing from Solokill, and they just have a lot of follow-up afterwards as well.
And importantly from Solokill there, he buffers the actual CC from QingTian as well, so he doesn't get knocked back, you know, he doesn't get stunned against the wall, and there isn't an opportunity there for Ultra Prime to flip it onto him. So Ultra Prime, despite having quite a big lead to start the game, and they're still basically 4,000 gold up, EDG winning that fight, slowing things down as much as they possibly can. They got the first 2 Drakes, so there's no Drake win condition anytime soon. And now trying to TP onto QingTian. A flash to get the slow from Solokill. Cryin moving over as well. QingTian forced to flash it in the meantime. Doggo is caught on the top side. Leave gets some damage down. The
225
to find one. Doggo low but not going down. It's a pick on the top side for Ultra Prime.
Thought maybe Lee was going to be able to clean that one up, though, as we have hit the threshold for that smolder. But more importantly so, I mean, that side lane play, it was Ultra Prime that tried to make a play immediately as they saw that coming down, but just were unable to with that catch out. And Doggo, got to be a little bit careful on these positionings in these moments. We're going to have another dragon coming up. We have those 2 item spikes for everybody in this fight. We're waiting on those 3 for a lot of people, but we take a look back at this one, and Doggo unfortunately caught.
It's happened a couple of times this game, hasn't it, where Doggo is the one engaged upon, but this time around, he manages to survive, and it's perhaps a little overcommitment from Wink and Leave there, thinking that they could just one-shot Doggo, but unfortunately, 4 players were there for Ultra Prime, so it just ends up being Wink going down.
It's just numbers.
Look at Wink's support item as well. In fact, Niket as well. Both of these guys going aggressive. No time for Celestial opposition. They are here to get damage in.
The talons here. As I also really like the Rally spike for Hacker here. I think he's going to have so much say in a lot of these team fights if EDG want to follow up on their engage that they have. And that's some of the duality that we've seen from Ultra Prime here. They do have a lot of tools to kind of dissuade EDG, but then they also have Niket and QingTian who like to go forward.
I think a really important thing that's happened like during that previous replay of the fight is that EDG managed to get another Drake for themselves. They're on sole point now. We're in a game where realistically they've been behind the entire time. They've got this turbo scaling composition of the Smolder being their primary carry. Like, this is not good for Ultra Prime that they've been, like, Dragon is just not a win condition for them. Not for the next 20 minutes, essentially.
Oh,
and that's just brutal to deal with. And they don't seem to be able to get a real control of the Baron area. There's no real pressure coming out from Ultra Prime. This gold lead, while it's 5,000 in their favor, it doesn't seem to have amounted to anything.
Yeah. And I love Doggo just as much as the next person. I just feel like the Draven hasn't necessarily gotten what you want it for. I think there's a lot of sustained damage, 80 carries in the meta right now. I mean, we even saw 6 bans in one of the games of this series towards that position. But it's just the stability factor. And you're hoping that Doggo, even with a little bit of advantage, almost 2.5k, right? He just completed his 3rd item, can pull this one out. But the consistency just hasn't been there for Doggo, but also for the Draven itself.
Yeah, we've seen a fair bit of Draven today. It's not looked that great, has it, as a pick? Attacker finds a route in the jungle. I don't think it'll lead to anything as another attempt
Not again.
on QingTian in the bottom side. This time around, though, no flash for QingTian. He tries to turn it around onto Leave. Leave should be able to out-damage it, but QingTian actually just walks away again. He somehow keeps surviving these side lane plays, and now Ultra Prime use that pressure to try and take over the top side. Leave has TP as well, as in goes Solokill, and out goes Solokill. Barely surviving.
He's dead.
And the laser will finish the job. Ultra Prime, they find themselves a pick, but with Leave here, I don't think they can commit to a Baron. Solar Flare onto Yuekai. EDG have done enough to dissuade the play.
They have. They are losing side lane now. Trying to find an answer into that one will be important. But honestly, Ultra Prime, the split-second turns onto the Baron as soon as they see any side lane play coming down onto QingTian. I think it's been a really good series of events for Ultra Prime. Even if Doggo's been getting caught, their decision-making is starting to shine through a little bit.
They could have another chance here with QingTian having TP, but Cryin moves down to match. Oh yeah, they are just going to start this one off again because there's no vision in here. Okay, blue trinket comes in. Jiejie over the wall. This is a little
here.
It's a little dicey for Ultra Prime, honestly. Health bars are low. Jiejie is in the area, so it could end up being a 50-50. They're being poked away, and Leave is here on the Smolder. Big damage on Niket. He has to flash to safety. We're going to have a 50-50 in the pit.
Oh,
Hacker
Jiejie
is at the back of the pit, but Jiejie is the one to get the Baron. Cryin goes down to Doggo, but Leave has the damage to find the execute. One more axe would do the job, but Doggo's the laser, and Solokill finds another one. Yuekai stepping up as Solokill tanking, finds the Q3, trying to survive, and the spear dissuades EDG. Find a miracle.
And that, man, take a sip of whatever you're drinking, my king, as he comes up big with the smite fight against Hacker. There's a reason why he's the last remaining member to carve that star on EDG's. And it's now a 3-item Italy, but it's the smite that matters the most.
This got a little bit dicey for Ultra Prime, didn't it? I think they got a little too excited in the moment. Trying a 50-50 the Baron. Perhaps not the best play. And I mean, the stun coming through onto
That's
Hacker as
so
well at the
big.
last second. But Jiejie gets the smite. And it's a kill for Leave as well, importantly. Onto
Yeah.
Hacker. Like, Leave getting any kind of gold at this point in the game is dangerous for Ultra Prime. Remember, if Ultra Prime lose this series, they are out of playoffs contention. This series means nothing but pride to EDG.
Oh my God.
Oh my lord, that damage. Mom flies in
dragon.
and sets up for Leave. Cryin arrives, and EDG, their last series of the split, they want to go out in style.
And they're doing it. They have carved this lead back from Ultra Prime. They're only down a couple thousand now. They have taken advantage of every misstep that Doggo has had. And now they find themselves a soul, a Hextech soul on top of that. I think I feel the tides have shifted. And I think I start hearing the tears weeping for Ultra Prime.
Ultra Prime have been ahead almost this entire game, and in fact, in terms of gold, they are still actually ahead by 1,000. And yet, EDG have held on long enough. They've called the bluff of Ultra Prime. They've answered every single play Ultra Prime have tried to make. And now, with Baron, with Soul as well, and with a stacked up Smolder, they look to try and break the base of Ultra Prime.
It can't end like this for Ultra Prime. They were so close to holding their own fate in their hand. They were so close to not being drugged down to the dirt like EDG. And we'll see if they can get themselves out of this one. The Baron is still up for 20. They are sieging down so heavily, and this is going to be lasting damage to Ultra Prime's base.
Hacker caught by the solar flare.
Oh!
Just burned to a cinder. That's what happens when a dragon meets a plant right there. Cryin, the one to finish the kill at the end as EDG moved to the mid lane. I think that might be all she wrote. EDG managed to find a little bit of redemption. It's too late for them in terms of playoffs, but at least they finish this split out with a win.
And what a split it's been from EDG. Not maybe the best ways, but to go out like this with a performance like this, with a claw back like this. I mean, EDG still have to clean this one up, and we don't know them to be the most clean team.
8,000 gold Baron play? 8,000?
Oh my gosh. That might we don't have a stats person, but I want to see how high that is on the list of biggest Baron plays. But it really has been a triumphant comeback for EDG in a lot of ways. Look at that gold graph. My goodness.
Oh, it's brutal. They were 7K down. And then Smolder came online, basically. That's kind of what it feels like.
He's been online. He finally got 3 items, and then, you know, that's when it starts working out.
I will say as well, I think Cryin has been doing a lot of heavy lifting in these fights that's not been quite as visible as, you know, when Smolder gets the executed, it's pretty clear to see. Hacker forced the flash away. Some big damage onto him.
Goodness.
I don't know if there's any more follow-up available, really, as the spear goes wide for Jiejie. And man, it's just so sad for Ultra Prime that it might end like this after things started so well for them. Feels like it's slowly but surely falling apart. In the placements in Group D, it looked like they were going to be one of the teams to make it into Group Ascend. But NIP, Weibo managed to redeem themselves in that group and find their way into the upper group. And Ultra Prime, unfortunately, struggling now in Group Nirvana against the ropes. At least the positive side is they won't have a really stressful IG versus WE tomorrow because it won't matter at all to them. Cryin just trades his life.
Man.
As Ultra Prime desperately trying to hold on to their third inhibitor. 1 for 1 there. The inhib will fall though. And I think the Nexus might be next.
It's looking like the doom spiral for Ultra Prime. They got so close to the sun, but ended up being burned. QingTian can't find another one.
What can you do? They're just clearing waves. And to be fair, they're pretty good at clearing waves at this point. It does feel like EDG is sort of struggling to actually finish this game out. 30 seconds until Baron comes up. That is a nice little spear coming through. Trying to play with vision, trying to hide behind the wall, but nobody gonna fall for it on the side of Ultra Prime. To be fair, this is a A valiant last-ditch defense
Yeah.
from Ultra Prime.
But it has to be. Like, again, this is the nail in the coffin for this split, for their 2024 as a whole.
Okay, he's all right. I was going to say, don't die here. Don't do this. Don't lose the game now.
Give Ultra Prime some hope. I'm always here for the hopium. But it is looking few and far between for Ultra
In
Prime.
terms of, leave surviving on social media later today, that is not the play.
Has that ever been the case?
Yeah, he's not had a fun time, has he? That's Baron, though, for EDG. And if 6 supers wasn't enough, 6 supers and Baron, that might just be the ticket.
Looks like that might be the case, and might now need to start singing the eulogy for Ultra Prime. They will have that really strong base defense of their own. We've seen them be able to clear out these minions, but we got the TP in bot side from Solokill, and it's the singing of the EDG. They are sitting in the mud, and they are grabbing the ankles of Ultra Prime and pulling them right down into it.
That crab mentality, and Niket feeling the claws. EDG charge on forwards. The peak of evolution is the crustacean, and EDG going full crab mode today as they pull Ultra Prime back into the bucket. Neither team will make playoffs. EDG have decreed as the Nexus will fall. A small silver lining as Lee throws up the
smiles.
#1 right there. They're happy to finally get another win and deny Ultra Prime playoffs.
Heartbreak City is one we know too well here in the LPL, and Ultra Prime will be visiting that one, maybe rethinking how they can approach 2025. But this Rumble stage is brutal nonetheless in any regard, especially in Group Nirvana, where 4 teams are bid adieu. EDG can stand proud here one final time as they take a win over Ultra Prime in spectacular fashion.
Yeah. And that is the last performance from both of these teams. That is their last shot at glory.